This week on a brand new exciting episode of Strong Arm Sports Podcast.
I'm going to say this. I feel like if Mason Rudolph was to call that number, expecting to talk to Big Ben, all he going to hear is, who this?
I'm sorry.
I think that was Ben's agent. Listen.
We supposed to be the losers, but we winning though. They used to laugh at us, now we winning though. They used to tell me never in my lifetime. I guess they wasn't in they right.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to a brand new exciting episode of Strong Arm Sports Podcast. Man, we just the realest sport podcast in all the land. Peak game, man. The homie LaParis went on a cruise. He did not get approved time off for that, but I got a great feeling, man. We got my nephew, Stacks Montana. Stacks, tell the people what's up, homie.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say, just for this week, you do get the better looking brother from New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? You get a slight break from my boy LaParis, you feel me? But Jersey still representing in the podcast, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna keep it all the way live, you feel me?
Facts, man. If you new and this your first time seeing this show or listening to it, what we do, man, we come in and we wrap up the previous week of sports in dramatic fashion, man. No BS, never any BS, no sugarcoat, no biases, only the strong arm truth. Stacks, if LaParis was here, bro, he would say let's start in the NFL. So that's what I figured we'd do. You good with that?
Okay, yeah. I'm good, man.
All right. So look, last week on the podcast, we talked about the fact that Mason Rudolph said that, you know, he ain't really having any communication with Big Ben. Big Ben was a little upset about Mason being drafted, said if he asked for any help, he would just point to the playbook. And we was like, God, what's going on with Big Ben? I come back this week with more of the same news, this time from a different team. Hey, in case you guys didn't know, the Ravens moved up to draft Lamar Jackson with the last pick of the first round. And Joe Flacco wasn't too thrilled about it. Now, I got some stuff here. Apparently, Joe Flacco, on the night of the draft, was said that he didn't have a statement. They wanted to interview the guy. Not only has Joe Flacco not reached out to Lamar Jackson has reached out numerous times via calls and texts and said he is yet to get a response from Joe Flacco. Stacks, what's going on with these quarterbacks, bro?
Man, I feel like they feel the heat, man. They feel the pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, it's literally them grooming a guy to be their replacement.
To replace him. I can dig it. And I understand, you know, how they could feel that way about the situation, but at the same time, man, it is, and it's not really part of their job, but if you care about the organization, especially Joe Flacco, Ben Roethlisberger, two people that have been treated very, very well by their, you know, respective organizations. The least you can do is try to, especially Joe Flacco, that money. Anyway, the least you can try to do is try to respect the organization's decisions. First of all, you know, by taking the quarterback. And also try to help that guy along, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure when those guys were coming up in the league, they would have loved to have a veteran of their status to be able to come and say, you know what, this is how things go, this is what you do in this situation. My biggest problem though with the whole situation was really just Big Ben. Like, how many times has this man, you know, put it in the air that he might be retiring, and now when they go ahead and like, you know what, let's get some insurance just in case this guy retires. You know, we not just stuck. So how can he go make those type of statements and they get mad when the team take care of themselves just in case he decides to call it quits? That's one thing I didn't understand. That's pretty much the same thing LaParis said. I agree. Now, I did find that quote from Flacco, and this was on. It says this all come on Flacco's reaction on draft day when he declined to be interviewed after the Ravens drafted Jackson with the 32nd overall pick. Flacco's quote was, "I don't think I'm talking today." That's all he said. You know, to our Ravens reporter, he obviously was a little upset. My thing is this. Stacks, you got a really good point. They're asking you to kind of throw your arm around the guy that may replace you one day. And I understand that that's not easy or it's not fun. You probably don't want to do it. But, I mean, to not even get back to him via text or whatever, I think that goes from protecting your job and it makes you look like you're afraid. To me, you look afraid. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the coach, and if you can't even speak to a rookie, you got all these years, you an NFL vet, you've been to the Super Bowl, you won a Super Bowl, you a $100 million man. If you can't even talk to this guy, that tell me all I need to know about your character. That means you don't even believe in yourself.
And it's just crazy to me, man. Like, I tried to somewhat defend Big Ben a little bit, but it ain't no. I can't defend Flacco. I've never been a big Flacco fan. I know his fans would come and defend him and say, yeah, he might be trash in the regular season, but he gets it done in the postseason. He literally got it done once, and that's when they had the best defense in the league. I don't believe in Flacco. I never thought he was great, and now I got even less respect for him today than I did yesterday. Crazy.
And my thing too, for Big Ben is the one that really bothered me more than the Flacco one because
really,
like you just said, Flacco he's not that good. So it's a legitimate chance that sooner than later he gonna be out of here. You feel me? But with Big Ben, you know your job is secure. You know your job is secure.
Do we?
Like why? We do. We seen what he just had, like he hung like 500 some yards on the Jags in the playoffs, and they happened to lose because Blake Bortles had the best game of his life.
He also had that game where he threw 5 picks last season too. Let's not forget about that. This is a perfect time to segue to the next topic. Let's talk Big Ben. Now, Stacks wasn't here last week, but we talked about what happened with Big Ben. But just as a recap, Big Ben didn't like the draft pick, and I kind of defended his thoughts or his actions on it. What he said was, I feel like we still a Super Bowl caliber team, maybe 1 or 2 pieces away. So I felt like in the 3rd round, where you still can get some really good players, I didn't understand us using our 3rd round pick on a 3rd string quarterback or wherever he's going to fall in the depth chart. And like we said on the show last week, last year in the draft, they took a quarterback as well. So they took, I think Hobbs, I think that's his name. I'm probably messing that all up. But they took a quarterback last year in the draft. They came right back and took a quarterback this year in the 3rd round. And Big Ben was like, we got some other needs out here in the 3rd round where it's still good players available. I would much rather us take a player that can help us now than a player that can help us in the future. And I didn't necessarily feel like he was being disrespectful in that comment. Now, when he decided that he wasn't going to talk to him, and if he asked me a question, I'm going to point to the playbook. Now, that's just being king petty. It ain't his fault he got drafted. But I understand him saying, hey, we right here. But to update that story, Mason Rudolph came out and said that he got a random-ass text from Big Ben saying, hey, good luck at that rookie minicamp. Now, I think after our show and a few other shows, people probably got on Big Ben's head. And he ain't used to things being on his head. I don't know if you know, Stacks, but man got a big ass head. Like I'm pretty sure his caps are special made. That dude got a big ass head, bro. For sure. So he ain't really used to folks getting on his head. This text to Mason Rudolph, do you think it was sincere? Before I rip it,
I'm gonna say this. I feel like if Mason Rudolph was to call that number, expecting to talk to Big Ben, all he gonna hear is, "Who this?"
I'm sorry.
I think that was Ben's agent. Listen. I felt like he meant exactly what he said when he said the original statement. And one, I just want to backtrack a little bit. I do kind of find it disrespectful to like, oh, they drafted a guy that's going to be a 3rd string QB. I feel like he's a little threatened by Mason Rudolph because Mason Rudolph is good. He's talented. I got to put some respect on his name. So I kind of feel like he's a little threatened by that. But just going back to the text message situation, I just think, that somebody got to Ben and was like, man, listen, it ain't looking too good for you in these streets. We're going to need you to go ahead and try to backtrack. Maybe we could come up with some type of plan, you know what I'm saying, to get the people back on our side. And they came up with this text message plan. But I'm going to tell you this. I was watching the rookies minicamp yesterday on NFL Network, and they happened to bring up the situation that you're talking about now with Mason Rudolph getting a text. And they said Mason Rudolph said that the media kind of like
blew it out of proportion.
Big Ben's word around. Yeah. And the guy came back and said, no, we didn't. We played the exact clip of what he said. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he was speaking his truth at the beginning and then kind of tried to backtrack once he seen people wasn't really feeling what he was saying. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on that, man.
I mean, Mason is trying to, he's in a tough spot because he might be over there thinking like, dang, I thought Big Ben was a cool guy. That's pretty jacked up. But if he says that, it's definitely going to make that bridging or whatever you want to call it, that passing of the torch, it's going to make it even more rough. So regardless of what and this is what I hate, it's unfortunate for guys like Lamar Jackson and Mason Rudolph. It don't really matter what these veterans do. These young guys are going to make it look like it's okay. Like, he came out and said, I think people kind of blew it out of proportion, And he said it wasn't a whole lot of dialogue. He wished me good luck, and I told him I appreciate it. I look forward to meeting him, and that was kind of it. But it meant a lot to me that he reached out. Stacks, you might be on to something. Agents take athletes' phones all the time, man. Ain't no telling who sent that damn text. Big Ben probably cussed somebody. He probably cussing somebody out right now, looking at his phone like, who the hell done text Mason Rudolph on my phone, man? Don't be texting that kid. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what's going on over there, man. Ain't no telling.
And the thing, I really don't understand Ben's insecurities because like if you look at the team last year that they had, I'm not sure in the offseason that they lost too many pieces. They definitely probably wanted somebody to replace Ryan Shazier, but other than that, it's like the team is built to go now. You know what I'm saying? They just happened to run up against the Jacksonville team last year that was matching everything that they put out. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't understand what more. I mean, there probably was other options, but at this point, if you're thinking from the standpoint of the owners or the coaches from the team, you like this guy constantly. I think this is the second offseason in a row where he contemplated retirement. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
hold on, Stacks. He said that he met with them. And he told them that he wants to play for 5 more years. And that's what I told LePage. Now, that's what he's saying today. He might threaten retirement 2-3 times during the season. But as of right now, he want to play 5 more years.
I don't want to hear none of that. I don't. After you do it 2 times, you know what I'm saying? Fool me once, shame on me. I mean, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, Spade. I'm not getting fooled again by this dude. Well, you never know. Let's just say the season don't go the way that they wanted to go this year. Big Ben call it quits. You know what? It just ain't working. We tried it. You know, we tried it 3 times. It ain't working. I'm out. And say they didn't draft a quarterback that they felt could carry the franchise after Big Ben. Now they stuck. You know what I'm saying? Now they really the Broncos now. You know what I'm saying? They're a well put together team without a quarterback. So I feel like they made the right decision going after a quarterback. I feel like Ben, after everything you've been through with the franchise, multiple Super Bowls. And them paying you, I'm pretty sure that he had no problem accepting all of the paychecks. After all of that stuff, the least you could do is try to put some love back into the franchise and help the young guy out, man. I feel like his statements was really uncalled for, and that's something him saying you could have got other guys to help and getting a 3rd string out of that. I feel like that's something you could have had, a conversation you could have had with the coaches, the GM, the owner. I feel like that's not something you should have went out and just said like that. Because like, being a young guy in that situation, I'm pretty sure when he heard it, he took it away. You know what I'm saying? Especially a young guy. It's not like another veteran they brought in, a young guy. So I'm pretty sure he took that situation to heart and you know what, man? I'm just saying, if that was me in that situation, I don't think I would even rock with him like that. Like, as you say something like that, I'm like, all right, fine, you know, you do you and I'm gonna do me. I don't know.
Yeah, if anything, it's gonna fuel my fire to want to take your job even more. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you talking about all the things Big Ben has been through, and that organization has stood by him. Let's not forget about those other 2 cases that people always seem to sweep under the rug when they talk about Big Ben and his greatness.
Yes,
Let's go ahead and move forward, bro.
Sir.
Let's talk some NBA, man. The greatest league on the face of the planet, the greatest league in our solar system, the Milky Way galaxy. I'm talking about the NBA, or the association for those that don't know. And I'm telling you, Stacks, I don't know if you know this or not, bro. I'm a football fan, but it pales in comparison to the NBA. The NBA just know how to get you the storyline. Matter of fact, let's just go. Let's talk about the Cavaliers, man. Newly acquired guard Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood has not been playing very good. All things aren't good for the Hood when it comes to Rodney. Now, in a 30-point beatdown that the Cavs was giving out, damn, Toronto, fight back, please. You know what? Coach Lou said, hey, Rodney, get in the game. It was 7.5 minutes to go. Matter of fact, it was 7 minutes and 38 seconds left to be exact. Rodney Hood said, nah, I ain't trying to get in on no garbage minutes. Like, nah, I ain't played the whole game. I don't want to play. And refused to go in the game. Now, since then, some more stuff has come out. But before we even get on to everything else that came out, is there any way possible you can defend Rodney Hood's actions? Stacks, if anybody can, it would be you, because I can't.
I'm going to say, from a standpoint of just feeling undervalued, I'm pretty sure in that situation, he felt disrespected when he asked him that question.
I'm sure he did.
And acting off of emotion, I'm pretty sure that's why he responded the way he did. Now, I feel like he did the wrong thing. I feel like he should have went in there and played. Like you said, he hasn't been playing well at all. And at least in that 7.5 minutes, you could have had the opportunity to put up some shots. show coach, look, man, I've been in the gym. My shot is going in now. Maybe you get a couple more playing time, a couple more minutes of playing time, but it's hard to defend that, Spade. I would keep it real with you. I feel like he did the utmost petty thing and probably, like I said, took it as a form of disrespect because he feel like he's a higher caliber player than that.
Right.
Like he feel like he's, you know what I'm saying, man, you don't send me in there with 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I it's hard to defend it, but I can also understand where he was coming from. But I do think he did make the wrong decision.
He definitely made the wrong decision, bro. I've seen players get sent in the game with 2 minutes to go. What the hell are they gonna do with 2 minutes to go? They try to send this man in with 7.5 minutes to go in a 30-point blowout. And I'm gonna tell you what I've always been taught. And first, I'll state the obvious. I haven't played on the highest of levels. I've never played in the NBA like Rodney Hood, and he could say that this information is not true. I've always been told when you're a shooter and you're struggling, sometimes all you need to see is the ball go through the hoop. This was 7.5 minutes of what could have been the Rodney Hood show, and he chose to pout. Even other veterans on the team huddled around Rodney Hood and tried to talk to this man, and he still refused to go in. After the game, he was one of the first players dressed and out of the locker room. He was clearly pissed off, and then he came back. I got this thing too, bro. I don't like when people try to play on my intelligence. I mean, I don't care if it's sports related in real life. It can be me and my kids having a conversation. I don't like when folks play on my intelligence. I'm a tad bit arrogant, and 90% of the people I converse with, I feel like I'm smarter than. So when you try to play on my intelligence, I take that personal. When Rodney Hood come back and go, oh, well, it was just some other, we had bodies, and Jose was wanting to go in. So I was just like, oh, Jose can have it. Bro, this ain't no damn negotiation. When the coach come to you and tell you to get in the game, you get in the game. What y'all gonna play?
Yeah, man.
Rock, paper, scissors for it? Get your ass in the game. And for somebody who has been playing bad, you should have been damn near sprinting on that court to try to make, for one, to fix whatever going on with you, because you're not playing well, Rodney. You're not. Another thing that kills me about this is, we talked about this, I think, last year when Kevin Durant first joined Golden State. The way they was making sure everybody kind of got their numbers, if it was the fourth quarter and Steph had about 20, KD had about 20, Dre had about 20, and Clay only had about 6, you know what happened in the fourth quarter? They pulled them other 3 and they put Clay out there with the second unit, and they let Clay eat so that he could still get his touches, still get his numbers, and to try to keep everybody happy. If Clay, if he could put his pride in his pocket and go out there with the second unit and get buckets, Rodney Hood, get your ass on that court, bruh. I can't defend his actions at all, and I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm one of the veterans on the team, after this year, I don't want him back. I don't want him back, because if you're not playing well, and then you don't want to take these opportunities to show what you can do, to show us that you deserve more playing time, I don't want him out there, bro. I really don't. He can go.
Another thing is that he's the new guy. You just got here this year. You don't have the authority to be turning down the coaches.
Exactly.
Listen, man. We already know how much of a micromanager LeBron James is. We all know that LeBron James put this. You don't want to look bad in front of this guy. You don't want to be in front of him turning down minutes, because I'm pretty sure he don't remember. I mean, he don't forget anything. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that was a bad look for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm almost 100% sure. You know what I'm saying, that he reacted off of emotions. And just felt disrespected in the situation. Like, man, we up by 30. Why you sending me? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe coming from Utah, maybe he was used to a situation when they up by 30 and he get pulled off the court. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it just ain't look too good for him, Spade.
It really didn't, bro.
Especially like you said, man, your shot haven't been falling. You had a whole half a quarter with the second unit to go put up some shots and try to get your shot back falling. And possibly, like I stated earlier, gain more minutes. Yep. This was your opportunity right here to get on the court, earn your playing time, earn your minutes, and he turned it down, Spade. I don't know what. Hey, man, he made a big mistake, man.
That's your boy. I think Rodney Hood from Jersey, and even if he not, we're gonna claim it right here on the show. I don't even have anybody.
I think he definitely from Duke, though.
Yep. Either way, I'm giving that L to you.
Yeah.
And I got some bad news, man, for this next segment. Let's take it north of the border. Let's go to Toronto, where they just decided after 7 seasons they want to part ways with their head coach, Dwane Casey. For those that don't know, Casey just led Toronto to their best regular season record in the history of that franchise.
and he was just nominated Coach of the Year amongst his peers. I think it's something like the NBCA Coach of the Year, and that's not the official one that the NBA gives out, but other coaches came together and say, hey, we take note of what Dwane's been doing this year. He's been coaching his ass off. We feel like he deserved this award. And 2 days after he got that award, Toronto said, after getting swept by the Cavs, again, Dwane, we good. We're going to go our separate ways. Was this a good move in your opinion, Stacks?
Man, this one was this situation is really tricky, man. Like, it's really tricky because I feel like they had to do something. Well, obviously something had to be done, and in certain situations, man, I honestly feel like coaches sometimes get a little bit too much credit, and sometimes a little bit too less credit, and I kind of feel like I don't know, man. It's tough. I feel like
it's tough.
Honestly, I felt like I'm gonna say this. I don't feel like he deserved to be fired. I feel like everything that he put in, especially through the years of that team, them getting better pretty much every single year, until they run into LeBron. But I'm saying, besides the LeBron point, them getting better for every single year, I don't feel like he deserved to get fired. But I feel like some change had to be made to that team to do. And honestly, I don't feel like this is going to be the last thing to get changed about that team. I think Kyle Lowry's going to get moved.
You think they're moving Kyle?
Like man, I feel like you got to move Kyle. I feel like it's going to be tough to do it, but I feel like because of his contract and everything, but I feel like they got to, man. I just don't see that core. And this is what I'm saying about sometimes coaches get a little bit too much credit, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it wasn't much that he can say or coach them. They just wasn't hitting shots, Spade. And one game they missed 11 straight shots to end the game.
Oh, yeah.
What could he have done differently about them missing those shots? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that core just together, I don't feel like. And another thing I noticed about that team too, I'm not sure if the leadership, just from the player standpoint, the leadership is there. Like, I don't see a leader on that team, and I feel like they got to make some type of changes in order to fix those internal problems just with the players. And I feel like Dwane Casey was probably just the first piece to get moved. I feel like some other things are going to happen this offseason. And if they don't blow the team up, I do expect to be like not a whole different roster, but some major pieces missing from that squad, man.
This is going to be tough for me to say, bro, because I'm pro giving coaches chances. And one of the reasons why I like the Steelers, I know a different sport, but the Steelers, I mean, they stick with their coaches through thick and thin, up and down. You can be out there looking like you don't even know your own plays, and the Steelers will be like, I'm gonna give you, give you some time to get it right. And Dwane Casey definitely got something going, and the only reason why I somewhat defend him, even last episode where LeParis was like, do you feel like Toronto should blow it up? I was like, no, because I don't think they can make a move that's gonna make them better than the LeBron James of Cleveland. I mean, I don't even call them the Cavaliers no more. It's the Cleveland LeBron James. If any other team put Toronto out, I'm on your side. Yeah.
Let me cut you off right there. I feel the exact opposite. I feel like if there's no move you can make to make you better than the LeBron James team, that's the reason to blow it up. So I feel like at this point you're constantly making it to.
It ain't nothing out there though. Stacks, it ain't nothing out there.
Constantly making it this far in the playoffs for what? For nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're really making it this far for nothing. You might as well blow it up. Start the rebuilding process because the East ain't gonna do nothing but get tougher next year. And man, I don't know. I don't know what these guys are gonna do, Spade. I feel like I said a while ago. I feel like it might be time to just blow it up, man. Go to put the C4 up in the locker room.
I swear, it's just like we got LeParis on the show still. I realize that. This is crazy. I keep telling people this. The one thing that has always hurt Toronto and the Grizzlies before they got out of Vancouver is, and this isn't spoken on a lot, they don't say this, but it is a thing where a lot of players simply don't want to move to Canada. They don't want to play there. They never really get big free agents. People don't want to go there. And I think Toronto got a popping scene. The Vancouver, on the other hand, I don't know. I've been to Vancouver. I can't say that I saw the happening spots, but I wasn't there that long. Never been to Toronto, but I think Toronto got happening spots, and they still struggle to lure in big names during free agency. So knowing that, I don't know. I mean, like, PG is going to be out there. I can't see Paul George wanting to go to Toronto. I can't. He's been trying to get his ass out west ever since. I mean, he's trying to get closer to the west. He ain't trying to go north, especially north of the border.
That's why you got to do it. You got to do it the Lakers way. You got to do it the Warriors way. You got to build through the draft at this point. I'm saying you might as well just go ahead and just set the C4 off. Start building through the draft. Try to draft the best possible players. Because places like that, places like Utah, you know what I'm saying, Memphis, those are teams, no big-time free agents is coming to those teams, babe. And we've seen over just the years, like, when the last time Memphis signed, like, oh, man, the biggest free agent they signed in recent years is a washed Vince Carter. Like if we be real, a washed Vince Carter. So, places like that, you're not, like you said, you're not going to get no free agents. It's time to start building through the draft. That's where they got DeMar DeRozan from. I think Valanciunas as well through the draft.
So you want them to tank, damn near. You want them to get rid of their stars and trust the process.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, Spade.
Ew.
Like you said, I'm taking your words. There's no move they can make that will make them better than them Cavs. There's no move they can make that could put them over the top and be able to finally beat LeBron.
Right.
What is the point then? Like, if you start your season and you know what, man, we ain't once we get to this point, we ain't make it past there. What is the point at this? Like, what are we doing then?
Technically, how many? Is it 30 NBA teams? If so, it's 15 on each side of the conference, I would assume. Mm-hmm. The Cavs keep coming out the East. So, I mean, Toronto not the only team that keep running into this buzzsaw and getting chopped down. Everybody else is too. So, if you can't get past the Cavs, if you can get past everybody else, I mean, I know I get the whole thing. If you're not first, you're last. I saw Talladega Nights. I know Ricky Bobby's slogan. I get it. Okay. But I mean, damn, you could be one of those middle of the road teams where you're not really getting lottery picks. You're not getting to the postseason. You just suck. These guys at least get a chance to experience regular season success. They ticket sales are up. They selling merch. They just can't get past LeBron James. It's not that bad, right?
I'm gonna say this. What has that mindset that you have? The same mindset the Clippers had, right? And what has that got them?
Well, they blowed it up
now. Like,
they blowed it up.
They ain't got nothing now.
Yeah, they did. So they took your advice.
And now that's what I'm saying. Now it's time to start going ahead and rebuilding. You see, they were trying to move DeAndre. They going ahead and, like, you know what? It ain't gonna work. All right, we're not gonna get past the Warriors or the Rockets or whoever. We're not gonna get past those teams. It's time to just go ahead and start rebuilding, so that about time your young players hit their prime, the prime players that's now are leaving their prime. You get what I'm saying? You follow me, Spade? Yeah. And honestly, I feel like LeBron got lucky, man. Because if he would have ran up against the fully healthy Celtics this year in the Eastern Conference, Spade, man.
Listen, you might be right. You might be right, but in the meantime, I will say this. Toronto, if any of you guys are listening to the podcast, somebody in management, Stacks has a point. I urge you guys to wait and see how this shit go for the Clippers first. Because, hey, as of right now, they don't look like I can't say it's working yet. I know this is their first year of the blow up. Just right now, I feel like you guys get a chance to experience some success. Some wins is better than no wins.
I'm going to give you a couple examples from the East, one from the East, one from the West.
Give me one.
That kind of decision-making kind of worked out. The first one, obviously, Philly, it worked out for them.
But you know what I'm saying? Them being the bad years, team though, Stacks. They was bad for years.
And now look at the potential that they have. I mean, it didn't work out this year, but the potential that team has. And
that's true.
When you have a guy like Ben Simmons, a lot of people, just like LeBron, is going to want to play with him. They know he like to share the basketball. He like to pass the basketball.
No, he's not.
I feel like. No, I'm saying, just like LeBron James, like how shooters like to play with LeBron because they're going to be able to, get their shots. That's what I'm saying. A lot of players a lot of shooters, I should say, are going to want to play with Ben Simmons because they know, he's going to find you. He's going to look to share the basketball. One of the best types of superstars are the unselfish ones. But example in the Western Conference. And we're going to go back to your point about not being able to draw free agents. The Timberwolves when they blew their stuff up, they got Andrew Wiggins, they got a young talent back. They went out and drafted Karl Anthony Towns. They know they can't attract free agents, so what they do? They went out and traded for Jimmy Butler. You see how that, and now that team is starting to form and starting to make it turn into something. See, I feel like that's the kind of mindset. You know, get those younger players while the prime players that's controlling the NBA are doing their thing. You get your younger players, and of course, obviously, you might make it back to that point. Maybe your younger players are young enough are good enough to make it back to that point. But at that point, right now, what you're doing is gaining experience with those younger players, so that about time they get to the age or when they hit in their prime, you know, they are the guys controlling the conference now. So
I'm glad you fixed that at the end. Because I was just about to ask you, are you telling me you think this T-Wolves team can compete with any of the top 3 or 4 teams in the West right now?
Oh, no.
But you're saying they building toward it. Okay.
Yeah, they building to it. That's what I'm saying. Instead of just having the same veteran players on the team that, you know, at this point in their careers, it's not that much better these guys are going to get. You know what I'm saying? You can't develop these guys probably any more than they already are. And at this point, it's nothing but decline coming from this point on. I feel like they should go ahead and start rebuilding, get younger, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, be that team that has potential to one day, you know, reach the mark that they're trying to get. Because right now, they're not going to get there. They keep this. They come back with the same team next year. It's going to be the same results.
I like it. You did a hell of a job of explaining it. I don't necessarily know I agree, but I get it. You want to move forward?
So yes, Faye, do you mind if I should go ahead and strong arm a topic of it?
We got to guess strong arming topics. Okay, let's go.
Hey man, let's go. I just got a question. I got a question, man. And honestly, I've been thinking about it, and I get it, and I don't get it. Right. So recently, the Warriors are starting to approach Klay Thompson about re-signing, right? And true. I'm like, man, yeah. I feel like Klay Thompson is a huge part of that team. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely part of the reason why KD can't get double teamed and Steph also cannot get double teamed. He's a huge reason for that. And I feel like Klay re-signing with that team may be the best thing for his career, but for his personal life may not be, because they talk about from what I heard is $50 less million that he's going to be getting from the Warriors. You know, obviously because they got to pay so many people, so that's going to be $50 million less dollars. So what I'm saying is he's going to be taking a pay cut, other than like going somewhere else and possibly getting the max.
Right.
I remember a while ago I remember a while ago, right? You brought up, man, and I don't even know if you remember you saying this, but I just
I remember, and I know what you about to say. Go ahead.
You was like, he already got his two rings already.
Yep.
Why not go somewhere else? And I remember you mentioned this team, Milwaukee, by name, Milwaukee, and go get the max from there. But I'm gonna tell you a team where I feel like he will fit perfect.
Go ahead and say Philly.
Them Sixers, man. I feel like if he
that.
was to go and sign, I'm just saying. Do you feel like he's better than J.J. Redick?
Hell yeah.
J.J. Redick with the Sixers was a problem, Spade.
You're right.
Imagine Klay Thompson just taking that J.J. Redick spot. Now you got another wing defender. You got Covington and Klay Thompson defending the wing. Klay Thompson shooting that thing like crazy. Spade, I think that would be a match made in heaven. I feel like that's a team that can compete. Spade, I feel like that's a team that can compete, and he can get his money.
You really own something here, and I like it. So while you was talking, I pulled up something here. It says, now look, if they get Klay to agree to restructuring or re-signing right now a multi-year contract extension, not only would it lock him up for a longer stay in the Bay, but it'll save the Warriors, like you said, a ton of extra money. Now, under a different scenario, Thompson would be able to earn over $80 million more than if he were to sign the extension right now.
Whew.
Thompson, however, has been adamant about his desire to remain with the Warriors for some time. He got a quote here: "Playing for one team your whole career is something special." Klay, listen. At the end of your career, when people judge you, they not going to judge you on how many teams you played for. They're going to judge you on your numbers. They're going to judge you on your rings, stuff like that. Yes, you can look at people like Kobe and say, man, Kobe was a Laker his entire life, except for draft night at first for a little while, but that's neither here nor there. But when you get into those debates, when people talk about even Shaq, I still say Shaq's the most dominant player I've ever seen with my own two eyes. Shaq, for a while there, Shaq, I think he played on 4 or 5 teams. Nobody discredits Shaq because he played for those other teams. Now, I thought Klay would be the first man out, and I didn't think you remember saying that. I mean, me saying that, but I remember saying it. I said, you got to look at it like this, man. I think Klay is a hell of a player, and he stays in the shadow of the big names out there. First, it was just him behind Steph. Next, behind him, it's behind Steph and KD. I don't know, man. I got to give Klay props for this. He's not done this thing anyway like I thought he would. With his father being an NBA player, I thought that pride in being able to say, I'm the man, I thought it would lead him out of there. And maybe you know, maybe that wouldn't be the thing. Maybe it's smarter for him to stay there. Me, I'm about getting them chips, man. And he's a young player. Like I said before, he's already got rings. And I would take this opportunity. I said Milwaukee back before they even had Greek Freak looking like this. But if he go to either of those teams, because Milwaukee's not a great three-point shooting team, and even though the 76ers was 10th in three-point shooting, they like 7th or 6th if they add Klay. So Klay, we might need to try to be this man agent, bro. We might save him. He might be goofing up.
I'm gonna say this. You go to Philly, and I'm gonna tell you why this is the perfect situation. One of the main things that Klay does not do well is ball handling. Right. Him with the ball in his hand is not really his thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. In Milwaukee, I feel like he would have to do some of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that many people that there in Milwaukee that's going to set Klay up. I feel like having the ball in his hand. I mean, who you got? Greek Freak.
Yeah. And Brogdon.
Bledsoe's looking for a shot. Michael Brogdon maybe, but he comes off the bench. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's in Philly, you know Ben Simmons is looking for you. You know that's he's looking for you. And then we used to, exactly right. And then we used to talk about like how you said after you're done playing the game, they're gonna judge you by your numbers. Spade, if he goes to Philly, tell me if that Philly team win a championship, he wouldn't be a bigger part in that championship than he would in the Golden State championship. And also, I feel like his numbers will go up so much. I don't know what he's averaging right now, but I'm pretty sure it's probably in the low to mid 20s. If you go to Philly, Spade, he gonna be. I promise you, he'll be averaging close to 30, at least in the upper 20s. At least in the upper 20s, I feel like his 3-point percent. Spade, and I don't want to say that maybe he thinks that his success is due to the Warriors system.
Speak on it.
Move the ball around and stuff like that. Maybe that's what he thinks. So that's why he don't want to go to a new team and jeopardize that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, man, in Philly, you have the opportunity to compete. That's number one. Your numbers will possibly go up. That's number two. Mm-hmm. And you will get your money. That's number three, Spade. I don't understand where in that Philly system that he don't fit in. I feel like it's the perfect situation for him. Especially like after we saw what he did with J.J. Redick.
You might be a genius, bro. I just pulled up Klay stuff. He just finished with career high in field goal percentage for the season and 3-point percentage. So he shot 49% from the field and 44% from three. He averaged 20 points per game. He's an 84% free throw shooter. And this is a perfect segue into the next topic. Matter of fact, look, before I even move on to the next topic, if you listening to the pod, drop your feedback on that. I got it. Hey, Stacks, I really think that's the perfect spot for him. And I hate to say that because it's a little part of me that's kind of a 76er hater because they fans kind of get on my nerves a little bit. And I would hate that because that probably would make that team, they would be scary. But let's segue in to the next topic where Sixers coach Brett Brown made it clear that he wants the team to be active during free agency. At some point, when the time is right, I think we need help to win a championship, which is crazy to me because I thought they had plenty. I mean, they've been trusting the process forever. I don't know how many lottery picks on that damn team. Had a rookie of the year they traded away in Michael Carter-Williams. I don't know how much talent they feel like they need, but they could possibly come into some money. In the peep game, they got $25 million projected in cap space this summer if they renounce the rights to Redick, Ersan Ilyasova, Marco Bellinelli, and Amir Johnson. Now, Redick said earlier that he's got mutual desire. He wants to stay. He said that the Sixers want him to stay. They paid JJ something like $20 million for 1 year. That was like an experiment. $23 million for 1 year.
I was giving that back to him.
And listen, After you gave him that for 1 year and he proved that he can produce, he ain't coming back for much cheaper. You might get him for 20 if you're going to stack some years on it. You know, he going to take that for the benefit of longevity, but you ain't finna get him at like 10 a year. Y'all goofed that up when you threw him 23 mil. He's going to take it. He's going to get that bread. Ilyasova there probably let go. I actually love Ersan Ilyasova. I said that when he played for the Hawks, but he's a journeyman. I don't know why, but Ersan, that man, if he saved the jerseys of the teams he played for, that shit probably looked like the NBA store. That man got more jerseys in his closet than Foot Locker. He got jerseys, bro. Bellinelli filled in well and shot well. They probably could get Marco back for cheap, and Amir Johnson, I don't know if they're going to keep him. Stacks just really put something out. My question to you was going to be, do you agree with Brett Brown that they need somebody else to make a run at a championship? I didn't feel like they did. I felt like they only needed time. But damn,
I'm gonna tell you why they need more. If not even even if we going with the case that they just need time and not actually another superstar player, I feel like they just need some veterans on the team. Like when you got your team led by social media king Joel Embiid, it's tough to have that maturity, that grit, you know what I'm saying, and that awareness on the court. That's why you see a lot of mistakes at the end of those Celtics games that they lost. They don't have that veteran presence on the team, you know what I'm saying, to be able to, all right, guys, settle down. This is, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's exactly what they need, some type of veteran leadership. And before we was on the Klay Thompson train,
I was going to say, I hate to cut you off, but
I feel like
could Klay provide that? Because he's kind of, I don't see him as a vocal guy.
And, you know, I don't see him as a vocal guy, but when you got guys like Iggy, Sean Livingston, KD, Steph Curry, it's really not asked.
No need to be.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we don't really know if Klay has that or not. But I feel like going to a younger team, he will see himself as the veteran of the team. And I feel like he would take on that role. But before we was even on the Klay Thompson train, and I was thinking Paul George. I feel like Paul George would fit with Philly better than LeBron James, just because LeBron James and Ben Simmons do the same things on the court pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And both of those guys pretty much need the ball in their hands to. Yeah, LeBron could definitely shoot that thing, but he's not a spot-up shooter. You know what I'm saying? He won't give up. He won't give up the ball to Ben Simmons. Like, you know what? I'll just sit in the corner, because he's not a spot-up shooter. So I feel like he needs the ball in his hands to do the things that he does. But a guy that proved just last year that he doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands to do his thing, and once he do, he can do the occasional ISO move, is Paul George. And that's one of the guys that I was thinking would fit on that team perfectly. I do like Klay Thompson with the Sixers a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? But since we know Paul George for sure, we don't know for sure, but we know for sure that Paul George is not going back to OKC. I feel like that should be the number one priority. That should be the number one priority on Philly's list, man. They got to snatch up Paul George. I feel like they get Paul George. The same thing with Klay Thompson. They get another wing defender. Paul George proved that he can be a spot-up shooter, and he's another guy that can take somebody off the dribble. Super athletic. He has that veteran presence. I feel like he is a guy that will be able to, you know, settle the team down and try to limit a lot of the mistakes that they can make in late game situations. I feel like Paul George. Overall, I do feel like they need another piece, whether that be just a veteran presence. You know, somebody like how Shannon Fry was, or Richard Jefferson. Just another veteran presence there, just to, you know, kind of take control of things late, and or they get another superstar like Paul George or Klay Thompson. Man, I feel like the latter, Paul George and Klay Thompson, will suit them better, you know, especially if we're going for a championship now. But they at least need a veteran to get those young guys in check, though.
This is what I think. And I like your idea. If I'm them, Brett, if you listening, Stacks might have something. If you listening to me, though, Brett, go ahead and just, sometimes, man, when the pitch can be coming straight down the plate, and it's better not to swing. I ain't swinging on Paul George. Let that go. Let that go. Go ahead and let Paul go. Let this young team stay together another year. They're going to make another playoff run. Look, they had the end of the season news conference, and these were some bullet points from it. Ben Simmons said that he's going to change some minor things on his shooting mechanic to get more comfortable taking certain shots on the floor. I don't know what the hell that means. Joel Embiid said he expects to put together an MVP caliber season in 2018-2019 because he's going to be able to work out for the entire offseason for the first time in his career.
It's going to be and it's also easy to do that when you only play 10 games. But
wow. What I think he should do is let this young team marinate another year. But what you need to do, which is illegal, I think. I don't think you can do this, but it's okay. Sometimes you can be a little bit illegal. Unless you're young listening to the show, then don't take that advice from me. You guys need to put a bug in Klay Thompson's ear. Tell Klay, do not re-sign long-term with those Warriors. Wait until 2019 when he's a free agent, and I think you need to go after Klay. I think the same team they got now, with another year of experience, with sprinkled in some Klay Thompson, bruh, if that ain't a top 2 team in the East, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. So I worry that bringing Paul George, don't get me wrong, he showed that he could kind of be a part of the system in OKC, but let's not kid ourselves. It went terrible. It was awful. I was going to talk like Charles Barkley. It went terrible. It was terrible out there. So I still think this team's identity, I think they are a pick and roll, back to the basket post game. That's what they do when they got Joel Embiid on the floor, and I think they pretty much said he's the face of this team. Nobody's came out and said that verbatim, but in the way they play, in the way they kind of promote that team, so to speak, it's Joel Embiid's team. Bringing Paul George in there could change the identity of that team, and it could possibly stunt the growth of Embiid. All right, I don't know. Somebody might disagree with that, but Klay, Klay one of them guys that don't break your offense. What you say? True.
I said I do feel the same way that bringing in LeBron will stunt Ben Simmons' growth.
I think so too. Bringing in LeBron would stunt Ben Simmons' growth, and I think bringing in Paul George might stunt the growth of Joel Embiid, because we already said, we looked up the numbers, they are a slower paced team with Embiid on the floor. When Embiid is off the floor, they run more, and to be honest with you, they probably a little more exciting to watch. I think you could get that with Paul George, but then you're going to have Joel sitting there like, so what am I here? You know, what was this whole process shit? What am I here for? So I don't know, man. I would be interested to see what people think about that segment there. Stacks, let's go ahead and do some predictions, bro.
I just want to say one more thing. Also, I feel like again, just going off of what you said, you know, if I'm coming from where you coming from, maybe, you know, them going through this might be the best thing for them. Just like I think Kyrie and Gordon Hayward getting hurt might have been the best thing to ever happen to the Celtics. Because I feel like it forced the younger guys and other role players to step their game up to a point, to a level that they probably didn't even know they could have it. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody had expectations for Jason Tatum. I remember listening to all type of analysts talk about how Jason Tatum hit a rookie wall, and how in the playoffs him and the younger players, Rozier and Jaylen Brown, weren't going to be that good because it's the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure that all of those guys are quiet right now. You know what I'm saying? Because all of those guys was able to step up, and I feel like that right there is going to elevate that team to another level next year, especially when the superstars come back to the squad. So maybe Philly just learning this thing as they go along, as they grow together, may be the best thing for them. But I do feel like bringing in a guy like Klay or Paul George will put that team over the top now.
Yeah, I think so. And look, if we want to play, you know, devil's advocate or whatnot, if you want to get the magnifying glass and just, you know, really just fine tune what he said at some point when the time is right. So that kind of, you know, if you want to be that guy, maybe he ain't saying right now. Maybe he's already looking to the future. Maybe he's not looking at the free agents of 2018. Maybe he's looking at the 2019 free agents. Hell, maybe even the 2020. Yeah. But the fact that he said at some point when the time is right, who knows? Brett, you might be on to something, my guy.
He might be putting that Magic Johnson.
They say you're really good at picking games, bro. You say you're really good at picking games. Let's put it to the test, bro. All right? Let's put it to the test.
I just want to point out that I picked the exact way the finals was going to go last year, game to game. But, what series we doing?
Let's go Eastern Conference first.
All right, Eastern Conference, man. This is tough. Because listen, I feel like in the situation that we're in right now is really tough to put these things together. Because on one end, you got a young bunch of
hungry guys,
scrappy, hungry, defensive-minded players with probably the best coach in the league, right?
Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, you just have maybe the second greatest NBA player of all time. So it's kind of hard to find a medium. Now,
Stacks, this is what you're good at, bro. Come on.
My head is telling me Cavs in 5. That's what my head is telling me.
Oh shit, that's
my head is telling me Cavs gonna get this thing in 5. LeBron, he's gonna find a way to do what LeBron does every single time. Where people be like, you know what, this might be the one. You know, this might be the series, and you know LeBron's gonna be able to do that thing. I also feel like Kevin Love might step up in a game or two, but other than that, I feel like Al Horford gonna have Kevin Love. I'm keeping it real. I feel like Al Horford might have Kevin Love on them clamps, man. But I feel like my head is telling me Cavs in 5, but my heart, man, my heart telling me Cavs in 6. My heart tells me Cavs in 6. My heart is telling me the Celtics may be able to win 2 games, but I think they will only win 1. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Brad Stevens can coach these guys to a game or 2, and I'm just saying that because I feel like the Celtics will be able to defend LeBron James and company a little bit better than any team has so far in these playoffs. And you look in the first series, the main reason they had those problems is because they was letting LeBron James go one-on-one and just defending the rest of everybody else. They wasn't letting nobody else do nothing. Y'all gonna win because LeBron scored 1,000,000 points. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's what they was forcing, the Cavs to do. I feel like the Celtics will be able to do that a little bit better because they have, they have the players for that type of defense, and they also have the best situational coach Spade I probably have ever seen. I'm not gonna lie to you. Brad Stevens may be the best situational coach I've ever seen, and I feel like, in a game that's close towards the end, you gotta watch for those Celtics to make the right plays and possibly be able to win a game or 2.
Okay, peep game. All that stuff, Stacks, that sounds good. You being nice. Let me tell you what I got here. Both of these teams was in 7-game series in the first round. It took the Cavs 7 to get past the Pacers, and it took Boston 7 to get past Milwaukee. Now, I had Boston losing in round 1. They got to round 2. I picked them against Philly. They won in a gentleman's sweep, 4-1. What the Cavs do in round 2? A sweep. Big broom, 4-0. Both of these teams are going to come in well rested. A lot of film has probably been watched on both teams. Now it's going to get down to who's going to perform. What I want to believe is that, again, the Celtics are this young team that has fought through a 7-game series, followed that up with a 5-game series. They got to be kind of breaking down. At the same time, I'm scared of that man, Brad Stevens. I'm afraid that you could put the Monstars on the court and Brad Stevens will make them lose by 2. Like, Boston won't beat the Monstars, but they're going to beat in the game. So you know what I got right here? I'm not going against LeBron James. I already said that. Not in the East. I got the Cavs. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, bro. I think it's going 7. I think it's going to be a damn dogfight. That's what I think. Because if you look at it on paper, to me, Boston got so many ways to beat you. That's what makes this team so tough to beat. It ain't you coming out every night, you got a game plan for LeBron, you got a game plan for LeBron, you got a game. It's not that. It might be Tatum tonight, it might be Brown the next night, it might be Horford the next night, it might be Rozier one night. You never know. That's tough to beat. I got it going 7, bro. 7. Scared of Brad.
And this is part of the reason why I feel like in the future, the Celtics team is going to be ridiculous, babe.
I'm scared to see what's going to happen when them 2 stars come back, bro. This is really going to be a test for him.
It's going to be crazy, man, because
I don't know what he's going to do.
Even if you look at the beginning of the year when Kyrie was playing, I think he was like top 10 in defensive rating with Brad Stevens in that Brad Stevens system. So
Kyrie was?
Then it's not like Kyrie was. So even then it's not like the defense falls off that much with those. I don't think the defense falls off that much with those other 2 guys coming back. But I feel like the main 2 things they can hang their hat on in this series is their ability to defend and their ability to. Because I feel like Brad Stevens is hands down, without a doubt, is going to outcoach Tyronn Lue. It's not even going to be close. So I feel like those are the 2 things
stretch at all.
I feel like those are the 2 things that they can count on: Brad Stevens' ability to coach especially in situations like late game situations and stuff like that. And because remember the play that they got on Philly, man, where they just got Al Horford down in the paint by. I don't know if I would have came up with that Spade. I'm just gonna say that I don't know if I would have been able to come up with a play.
I would have,
but
yep.
But the ability to go ahead and outcoach Tyronn Lue, and then the ability to defend, I feel like that gives them a chance. But I see 5 or 6 games, man, 5 or 6.
Well, you know what? If that's how you feel about that, then this should be comical. Let's jump over to the Western Conference side of things. I know this is going to be interesting. Tell me what you got here.
Man, I've been going back and forth, tossing and turning. It woke me up at night a few nights, man. But I finally came to the conclusion that this series is not going to be as good as people think. I honestly feel like the Rockets, man, they coming into the series with the wrong mindset. They came into this series with Spade. We all know how, and I don't even want to do this, but history, when you go to history, it seems to repeat itself. You know, if you take a look at patterns and such. But
I feel like you're bringing up the past.
James Harden against the Warriors does not have the best track record as far as playoffs go.
I feel like bringing up everything,
but and then you got to look at Chris Paul. Never been to a Western Conference Finals. Probably happy to be here. Finally got that burden off his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And then I heard Draymond talking, Spade. After they went ahead and finished the Pelicans
Draymond
series.
always talking.
Listen, Spade. Listen, you right about that. Draymond is always talking, but I'd never heard him talk the way he was talking just now about this upcoming series against the Rockets. And he said, we not looking at them as if we wanted to see them all year. We're not looking at them as if, we have the team to beat them. We looking at them as just another team in our way to our ultimate goal of being the champions again, repeating. And if you look at what the Rockets were saying, oh yeah, we want the Warriors. Oh yeah, that's the team we are built to beat. Even their GM was coming out and said, yeah, that's the team that, we built this team in order to beat that team. I feel like they're going into it with the wrong mindset, Spade. I feel like the Warriors, like I said, are taking this as just another roadblock. You're going to go ahead and get this up. Honestly, Spade, I feel like this game is going to go about 5 games. And I feel like it's going to be a couple blowouts mixed in there somewhere, Spade.
Whoa.
I don't see the Rock. I don't see it, man. I don't see the Rock. I just don't see it, Spade. I feel like the Warriors got too many weapons, like literally too many weapons. And at the end of the day, man, I just don't see it happening for them. I feel like the Rockets might go ahead and get a game in Houston sometime, at some point. And we do know they got home court, so they might end up winning game 2. I feel like Warriors, game 1, game 2, Houston, and then 3 straight. 3 straight for the Warriors. And, man, I know it's a lot of Rockets fans out there that's probably disappointed in my words, and I know you guys feel
I'm
like
disappointed.
This is the team. But, I mean, how different are they than Toronto at this point? Because every year they be like, all right, we got the new Rockets team coming up. You know what I'm saying? We got Dwight Howard this time. All right, that didn't work out. All right, this is the new Rockets team coming up. We got Clint Capella. We picked up this guy, that guy. Didn't work. All right, this is the new Rockets team, man. We picked up Chris Paul this time.
I don't like it.
It's turning to the Raptors, man.
I don't like it. I'm about to go at you.
And this year for me, the Warriors beat these guys in the series. I'm calling it. And a lot of people on Twitter are going to be mad. I'm calling them the Western Conference Rockets, fam. The Western Conference Raptors.
Okay, wait. First of all, you are on Toronto because you want them to do anything. Just do something. Do anything. The Rockets have literally tried something different every damn year. So you better not come for them with that slander on Twitter, because I will defend these guys. Because they traded 7 people for Chris Paul. 7. And I was adamantly against the trade. I said Chris Paul is old at this point. He on the back half of his 18 holes, and that guy ain't worth no 7 people. You traded 6th man of the year candidate Lou Will. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. You know what they did? They went out there and they shut me up, bro. I ate crow. I done ate crow so many times this damn season, I'm starting to like the taste of it. They shut me up. They had the best record in the NBA, okay, bro. And you know what? This is not the same team from last year, Stacks, and I don't appreciate you saying that. It's not the same team from the previous year. This team has something they have never had. Insurance. Because James Harden gets the yips against Golden State. It's something about Golden State. I don't know. You know what? I'm not even going to verbalize that whole little B crap. I don't know what it is. James Harden gets the yips against Golden State. They needed an insurance policy. He was expensive. It cost them 7 players. His name is Chris Paul. Now, am I telling you guys the Rockets are going to win this series? Hell no. That's not what I'm saying. Relax. But I'm saying I think it's going to be a better series than Stacks is anticipating. Both of these teams has kind of gave every opponent they faced the gentleman sweep 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, just cruising. The good thing about it, James Harden has been able to rest along the way. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Spade, his minutes per game ain't lower. I'm talking about being able to rest on the court. When you see them games with James playing like shit, that's resting. He's resting, and that's important. Here's what you're going to get.
I never heard that. That's my first time hearing when somebody end up taking the poop on the court. They call it rest, but I'm gonna let
it's resting. That's because all us upper echelon hoop knowledge people know this, Stacks. You more like a football guy. You never knew that. You learning something today.
All right.
The Rockets are going to fight. They're going to compete. Contrary to what Stack said, they're not going to lose that first game. The energy level going to be high. Houston might show up. Now, Houston is notorious for getting the games late. During the season last year, they was trying to give away beers if you got there before halftime. The city of Houston don't really give a damn about the Rockets like that. Houston's going to come out there. They're going to be there at least by the second quarter. All right? Houston winning game 1. They're going to win 2. They're going to win 2 games. It's going to be a 6-game series, and a wounded Golden State team will go on. But let me tell you something. These Rockets will fight. They will fight, Stacks. They won't roll over and just get beaten. They will fight. James, that's the best I can give you, James. That's all I got.
Remember all of those times where, I mean, this was before my time. I just remember my dad talking about it. He said, man, I would, Mike Tyson will have a fight coming up. And we'll order the fight, you know what I'm saying? And we're expecting something crazy. We expecting those guys on the other side of Mike to fight. Yeah. And then we ordered
before you get your damn chips and sit down.
About 5 seconds.
Yeah. I remember.
And I feel like that's Spade.
So Golden State is Iron Mike Tyson right now? That's what you saying?
Of the NBA, who else is?
They can't be nobody else. They can't be like. They can't be Lennox Lewis and his run. They got to be Iron Mike. They just knocking folks out in the first round. That's what they doing.
Spade,
they got no sweeps.
They got no sweeps. Everybody. Last year they swept their way all the way to the finals.
That's right. So that means they was better last year. They got no sweeps.
Spade, counting from this year and last year, they lost a total of 3 playoff games. They lost 2 this year. They lost 1 in the finals last year against the Cavs. Spade. This team don't, and this is the thing that was annoying me too, of just about LeBron fans in general, how they say, oh, LeBron's going to flip the switch.
He did.
Then in that same breath, I know, hold on, I didn't say he didn't, but in that same breath, they were saying, I don't know if the Warriors could do that. They obviously
the Warriors aren't LeBron James first.
In the regular season, that's fair. In the regular season, I don't feel like they, at that point, the regular season just a regular season for them at this point.
Oh, I agree.
I don't even think they even was worried about getting the number 1 seed. I honestly
agree.
Feel like they, whatever, number 1 seed, okay, whatever.
I mean, after winning 73 games, what's less? But I mean, they don't have anything to fight for in the regular season. I'm with you. How about that?
I feel like they just coasted. And now when you say Steph Curry had time to rest, and did you see him in that Pelican series?
You think he 100%?
You would have thought that he been playing. I'm not sure he's 100%. I'm not sure
he can guard Chris Paul.
But listen, I don't think he's 100%. But I do think this. I do think he's well enough to play. If he's not 100%, I think he's 95%. I feel like he's 95%. I'm gonna tell you why. Late in that Pelicans game, when the Pelicans started to look like they was coming back, remember they lost. They looked like they was coming back. They put Steph Curry back in the game. So if a guy is not exactly where you want him to be, you're not putting him back in the game unless you know the game is in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
Just when he looked like they was coming back, they put him back. So I feel like he's definitely, if he's not 100, he's 95.
Steph should have refused to go in. He should have Rodney Hood that shit. Yeah. Let me ask you this.
I don't.
Who's your X factor from this series right here? Houston, Golden State. Who's the guy that makes your prediction go the way you got it? Matter of fact, give me 2 X factors. Who's the guy that could ruin your prediction too?
I'm gonna say the guy that could ruin my prediction altogether is Trevor Ariza. I'm gonna
Really?
tell you why.
I wouldn't expect.
I'm gonna tell you why. I wouldn't tell you why. Because I feel like the lineup the Warriors are gonna go with is Steph, Clay, Iggy, KD, and Draymond. And I feel like they start Iggy because they're gonna put Iggy on either Chris Paul or Harden. They're gonna have Clay on, the other one, and they're gonna have Steph guarding Trevor Ariza. So I feel like when you have Steph guarding you, at some point you're gonna have to do something. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if he's able to take advantage of that matchup at some point, that can change the whole game. I feel like if and I do want to also say this, I feel like in order for the Rockets to make this even competitive, Chris Paul and James Harden got to be going off every single game. There's no games off. There's no taking rest on the court. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they got to be at they utmost every single game.
I agree.
The Warriors, they got guys that can take a night off, and if the other 2 hit, and it's a wrap for you. You know what I'm saying?
3.
And then other 3, because then Draymond out here hitting 3. I don't know if you've seen him in this Pelican series, but this guy.
I saw him with that ugly ass jumper. I saw it.
Man, he was amazing. So if that, and I feel like also another matchup that we're gonna have to look out for is and another exploit James Harden takes advantage of is throwing that lob up to Clint Capella. And I don't think it's gonna be that easy with Draymond guarding him. Draymond, we already know he might be the smartest defender in the league, Spade.
Oh
if
my
not
God,
the smartest,
Stack,
he
stop
might
it.
be the smartest.
Stop it, Stack. He's not that
Spade,
damn smart. No, he's not. Stop
I'm talking about defending. He knows
know.
where to be on the court. He knows exactly where to be on the court. All the positions, he knows where to put guys on the court to make them not successful. And I feel like, because I watched the clip and I remember you replied to it where Scott OG had posted something about Clint Capella, James Harden throwing the lobs, Clint Capella so far. But I feel like Draymond is not gonna, that move right there is not gonna be as easy as it came against the other teams as it is gonna be against Draymond. Yes, it is,
bro. Because it's set up off a pick. So first of all, the pick is designed to make Dre switch, and if Dre don't switch, then James is gonna step back and cook whoever, whatever guard they got on him. The whole idea is to create the switch. You watch. You watch.
I'm saying this.
Clint catching 3 oops a game. Watch.
I'm saying this. When James Harden cooking, it's usually bigs that he's cooking. Am I correct?
It's whoever. Anybody can get it.
More often.
Was it a big on the floor that James Harden?
And I know that's your favorite player.
Get up.
And I know that's your favorite player.
You kind of getting disrespectful right now, bro. I didn't bring you on this show to slander James Harden.
I know that's your favorite player in the league, so I understand where all of this is coming from. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm letting you have your fun, Spade. But
fun.
I don't think all of those cooking moments is gonna come as easy as they were in the previous series when you have Iguodala and Klay Thompson guarding you. And I'm not saying that he's not gonna get his numbers. Cause I feel like going one-on-one with NBA players, I don't feel like you could lock somebody up one-on-one. But I feel like they're gonna make it tough. Donovan Mitchell, a couple possessions, I saw him make it tough for James Harden when he was trying to cook on one-on-ones.
Give me your damn X factor. Who's your X factor that can make your prediction come true?
Make my prediction come true is just James Harden. James Harden having an off game or two, setting a new record for turnovers in the play.
Wow. Okay.
I just I feel like James Harden has to be the guy. Like it's no Chris Paul could take over this game. No, James Harden has to be the guy in order for them to win this series. Because if not, Spade is it's not gonna be competitive. Like I said, I see a couple blowouts.
No, you don't, bro. Listen, okay. You off the stage. I got it. Listen, my X factor for this series is P.J. Tucker. Nobody's talking about P.J. and the defense he's going to play. Now, this is what I think. You're probably going to get, I would probably put Ariza on Durant. Durant going to eat anyway, but Ariza's taller. He's kind of long-limbed. He's got these long arms. He can at least get a hand up in the face of KD. Same thing you said. You ain't going to stop KD, but you can slow him up. What's going to happen is that P.J. Tucker is going to eliminate Draymond from the equation. Draymond gonna be finishing with like 3 to 5 points if the Rockets stand a chance. That's what they're gonna need to get from PJ. PJ is definitely the X factor that could mess up my prediction. If PJ come out there and hoop, and obviously I agree that you're gonna need James. James, listen, you ain't gonna be able to get no rest in this series, bro. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I know you be getting tired, toting that big ass beard around, wear you out. I get it, but you're gonna have to drink a 5-hour energy or something. No rest. Now on the flip side of things, now this is what you probably not gonna expect, but I think the X factor is really gonna be one of the bigs for Golden State. It could, I guess I'm actually calling on JaVale McGee, because what you're gonna need those guys to do, not necessarily get points, and like I said, even when you see Clint eating, a lot of times it's off the pick and roll, or it's that's how he gets his. But I'm talking about rebounding and boxing out, because if you allow Clint Capella to get those boards and kick it out for second chance points, the Rockets could win this shit. Like, that's another thing that Clint does that kind of gets swept under the rug, that goes under the radar. People talk about, well, he's a great P&R big, and he gets a lot of, roll to the basket, alley-oops. But he also gets those boards, even if he don't actually bring it in. If he just get that hand up there and knock it back out, and the Rockets get another possession, that shit right there can kill any team, including the mighty Golden State Warriors. All that being said, man, I got Golden State winning this thing. I'm not foolish. But they not. The Rockets ain't going to lay down.
In your scenario, who is Clint Capella guarding?
Bro, I don't want to talk about it no more.
If you putting PJ on Draymond, Ariza, so who is Clint Capella guarding?
Who? So you saying, whoa. Oh, I just thought about it. So you saying that they starting Dre at the 5? That's what you think they should do?
That's what they get. That's what they did against the Pelicans. They started Draymond at the 5.
Oh, well then we'll put Clint on them. No big deal. I didn't think they would come that small against the Rockets. They could.
Because Clint, if you look at Clint, he's not even, what is he, like 6'9", 6'10"?
Nah, hell no. He got to be taller than that. He got to be.
I don't think he's a tower. Let me see. But I do feel like the matchup to look for, though, is Steph versus CP3. I still think
you're right.
I still think CP3 is kind of salty about what the Warriors been doing to them Clippers over the years. And, what this kind of remind me of? Like two evil villains that been getting mashed out for so long. They finally come together. Like, maybe if we come together, we could finally take this guy down.
Who the evil villains, Stacks, who evil?
James Harden.
Let's move forward.
They the two evil villains coming together to try to take down the Warriors.
This probably so the Warriors are the good guys, and
I'm just saying in this scenario, that's what I'm saying.
This is a terrible. This is probably one of the worst scenarios you've ever come up with in the history of me knowing you. You've had some pretty bad ones. That one right there, that one's pretty bad.
Hey, man.
Listen, fun fact for those that don't know, Clint Capella middle name. Go ahead.
Do we also agree that the hero always wins in the end, Spade?
Bro, I don't understand why you think Golden State is the hero, Stacks. Okay?
They always win in the end, man.
Stop. Listen. Fun fact for you guys that didn't know this, because I just found out. Clint Capella middle name, I don't know how to say it, but it definitely has the word dumb in it. Like, he's got dumb right in the middle of his name. And that shit just kind of changed my whole opinion on the way the Rockets could compete. My man got dumb in his middle name. Let's go ahead and end this show, man. We're going to give you guys our Strong Arm Performer of the Week, man. This is a very prestigious award in podcast land. It is given away to a male or female athlete, not necessarily athlete, but male or female who raised his or her level to ensure that their team got the victory. I have had actual athletes, Stacks, you might not know this, tell me that they won ESPYs and throw that shit on the floor. But when they get a Strong Arm Performer of the Week, they put that thing up on the mantle. Like, they love this thing, bro. Like, it's really important. Stacks, you are on the hot seat. You really dropped the IQ of all our listeners on that last segment. Please save your reputation with this Strong Arm Performer of the Week. Please, I beg it.
My Strong Arm Performer of the Week has to go to Brad Stevens. What he was able to do in this series against the Sixers, especially late in games, out coaching these guys, it was amazing to me. He got a rookie and a second-year player playing like as if they're veterans. Like I said, out coaching these guys down the stretch. When they came into this series, nobody gave Boston a chance to win it. I don't think anybody had Boston winning the
series.
Whoa!
I had them.
All right, you had them, but not many people had Boston winning the series, and I didn't say, and that being said, I don't think people had just Philly just going out and just blowing them out every game, but they didn't really have them, have Boston really, winning the series, and I feel like
they did anyway.
Exactly, and also if you look at the games, all of the games that Boston, well, not all of them, but I think like 3 of the games that Boston won, so 3 out of the 4 that they won, could have easily have been won by Philly. But when you have close games like that, that's when it comes down to coaching, Spade. That's when it comes down to coaching and the situational basketball and running the plays and stuff like that. And I feel like Brad Stevens, without a doubt, man, probably the best coach in the league, Spade. I know Greg Popovich is still here, but Brad Stevens, man, that dude is coming for the title, dog. And give it next year, Spade. Give it next year, and I feel like I will be in the majority when I say Brad Stevens is the best coach in the league. Strong on performer of the week. Brad Stevens doing his thing, holding down for his squad.
I like that. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I was afraid, and I had reason to be because you let us all down on that last segment. I meant to ask you, so I'm gonna kind of strong arm my topic in here way late in the show. I meant to ask you when we talked about Toronto and the firing of Casey. Do you have anybody in mind that you think Toronto should go after? Because the Hawks just fired Budenholzer. People was telling me that Budenholzer was first up to be interviewed for this job, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he fits because I mean he coached under Pop, and he has that philosophy of where you kind of don't have that one go-to star. Anybody on any given night can give you points, and them guys in Toronto, they long in the tooth. They kind of set in their own ways. And DeRozan and Lowry feel like that's their team. They feel like they should take the bulk of the shots. I don't know that Coach Bud can implement. I don't know if he can get those guys to buy into his system. I don't know who Toronto hires here, bro. I really don't.
I don't know either, man. That's why I said I don't feel like Dwane Casey deserved to lose his job, but I do feel like some changes had to be made. I'm just happy my Knicks was able to pick up Fizdale. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fizz one time. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know who they could go with, man. I just feel like, you had
Mark
everything
Jackson's still
in
out
place.
there.
Yeah, Mark Jackson's still out there. I was hearing Jerry Stackhouse too.
Really?
But yeah. I was hearing Jerry Stackhouse. I feel like they had everything already. It just wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like one coach will come in and be able to change everything. But you did say Budenholzer is coming from the pop tree. And I do kind of feel like the whether they want to admit it or not, that's the way their team is. It's just like whoever's high, that's the guy for right now. Because I don't feel like DeMar DeRozan is a guy. I don't feel like DeMar DeRozan is a guy that can take over. You seen what he was doing, Spade. You seen what he was doing.
You disrespectful, bro. What you mean?
I'm not. I'm just being. I don't feel like. I don't. Honestly, if I'm keeping it real, I would. I'll probably take Oladipo right now with DeMar DeRozan. If we being real, I'll probably take Oladipo.
Depot did just have a great year. Let me go ahead and get my strong on performer of the week. I try to lob this man an alley oop, and what they do, clank it off the rim. Anyway, I'm giving my strong on performer of the week. No, you did, but you didn't have a ball with you. That's a miss. I'm giving mine to a 33-year-old point guard who's been in the league for 12 seasons, 12 years, and has never sniffed a conference finals until this year. Okay. When he got close and he could smell that blood in the water, I'm gonna tell you what he did, man. He went out for 41 points, 10 dimes, 7 rebounds. The boy almost messed around and got a triple-double. I'm talking about Chris Paul. And this is the guy that Stacks think gonna roll over to the Golden State Warriors. I don't see that in Chris Paul. All them doggone banana boat trips he took with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, he learned something on those banana boats. And you about to see it right here against. He been wanting this moment. He been wanting a piece of Golden State since Golden State was Golden State. He been wanting a piece of this team since Baron Davis was out there. He finally gets his chance for that performance and helping your team get to your first ever, not there, but your first ever conference finals. Chris Paul, you are my strong arm performer of the week, my guy. Well deserved.
Don't forget, on the banana boat, Melo was also there too. So let's just hope.
But he must have been way in the back. He ain't learned shit. He was just sitting back.
Let's hope Melo ain't Melo and Chris wasn't talking a little bit too much.
That's a good point.
On them banana boats, man. But I do agree, man. Chris Paul been doing his thing. I'm happy
for him that he finally made it this far. Always been one of my favorite point guards in the league. Not necessarily the most fun guy to watch, but if you want to learn the fundamentals of basketball and pretty much be good at everything, the defense, passing, shooting, Chris Paul is definitely the guy you want to tailor your game after. Like I said, one of my favorite guys in the league. Happy that he finally made it to the conference finals, but all for naught, man. All for naught.
Yeah, he gonna end all that praise with some hate. Man, we're gonna get up out of here, folks. As always, we appreciate you guys supporting the podcast. If you are listening on iTunes, it's got a little section where you can get some feedback. I think you can rate us. Rate us. I ain't even asking you to, like, I'm not your Uber driver. I'm not asking for 5 stars. Rate us whatever you feel. If you feel like we 3, give us 3. Whatever. I just want your opinions. Let us know. Like, if you are unhappy, let us know what we can get better on, you know? Shout out to my nephew Stacks for filling in for LaParis. LaParis, listen, man, you be careful on that cruise because, you know, your boy can't swim, so I don't really do the cruises. I like to stay on land. But I know he out there having the time of his life, and we still going to keep things going around here. Stacks, let everybody know where they can find you, bro, before we get out of here.
You can find me on Twitter at @YoStacks. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to argue at any point. I always got time. Well, actually, I did just make a new rule. From 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., those are the only times I'm talking to people that don't have themselves as their profile picture. So if you got anime, basketball players, rappers as your profile picture, that's your window between 1 to 6 p.m. You know what I'm saying? I'll reply to you then. But other than that, man, you can find me on YouTube channel, Stacks Montana. Go ahead and check me out. And yeah, man, that's about it.
Hey, listen, if you guys are into gaming gameplay, definitely check out his YouTube channel. Dude is crazy entertaining. And if you like talking sports, hit him up on Twitter and make sure you got a picture. If you don't, hit him up during his office hours because he's not open 24 hours a day to argue with you eggs. Right. Anyway, folks, that's all we got for today. We'll catch you guys next week with more Strong Arm Sports. We out, y'all. Peace.